Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. With John Swinney just elected leader and, well, in his mind, hopefully to be elected First Minister today, although at the time of making this video, he's not yet in, and there's still no guarantee he will. It seems nice, I think, to report that there is at least one failure on the cards, and that is one of the flagship policies of the SNP, which was the Fireworks Control Law. This was meant to sort of limit who can buy them, when they can be released, blah, 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 blah. All sorts of controls put onto fireworks. Well, it seems that, despite the law being introduced, only one council, Glasgow, has actually applied for these controls to be put in place, and so therefore to try and, control the problem. One. Out of all the councils in Scotland, only one. So it can be said to be a complete and utter failure. Hardly the resounding success that any incoming leader would like to start his term as. Is this an indication of things to come? Is this is the oracle at Delphi spoken and said, John Swinney, you shall begin with defeat, and defeat shall be continuing forever? We do hope so. Although, to be honest, I can't see any victories coming up. They've got no policies coming online that are any good. Everything they want is failing, falling, and being rejected. And I'm going to be doing a video later talking about all the things that they're likely going to have to change now that they've dumped the Greens. Interesting, isn't it? Anyway, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and join me as we have a look at yet another failure in the making of John Swinney's first day in power. Here goes. So, SNP's flagship fireworks law in tatters, as only one council has applied for new control zones. That, of course, was Glasgow, because they are so up the backside of the main party, it's hard to extricate themselves. Weird, isn't it? Legislation to allow councils to designate so-called firework control zones was introduced too late for Bonfire Night 2023. And with just weeks until this year's deadline, so far only Glasgow City Council has taken any action. They've probably forgotten about it. They're calling this a flagship thing. Oh yes, it's the best thing we've ever done in our 17 years. We've stopped kids buying fireworks. Well, whoopee-doo. The law was already there to stop them. It's like, oh God, is this the best you can do after 17 years? New laws to ban fireworks in problem areas could be squandered for a second year running. After it emerged, only one council in Scotland has so far put firm plans in place. The Scottish Government boasted about the new firework control zones, which were legislated for last summer. However, local authorities did not have time to implement the recommended 4-month consultation period in time for Bonfire Night. And of course, you're tick-tocking away, soon be up, and then you won't have the 4 months this year either. It's emerged that so far, only Glasgow City Council has announced a formal process to which community submissions for FCZs must be submitted by next month. And the measures allow councils to ban pyrotechnics in certain areas at certain times. There's no blanket ban. When you're a kid, fireworks are like, oh yeah, great. And I remember fireworks used to be really good. Nowadays, you stand there, spend 40 quid and it goes fut. That's about it. There's no real big, loud ones unless you go massively expensive now. It's emerged that they've done that. While council leaders in Edinburgh and Dundee, two cities which endured carnage on the streets in the last couple of years, have spoken positively about firework control zones, the latest edition of 1919 magazine, which I think is the police rank and file magazine for the police, reveals that no firm plans have yet been launched. Because it's hard, isn't it? It's easy to announce things. It's hard to actually do them. And of course, there are costs involved. And they haven't got the money. The worst disorder on November the 5th last year took place in the capital's Niddry district, which police officers pelted with police officers pelted with petrol bombs, fireworks, bricks and golf balls. However, Edinburgh City Council had previously warned that even with these zones in place, it would not have prevented the extent of attacks on police. So, in other words, it's brought into great fanfare. It's one of their tentpole laws. And even the police are saying, well, it don't make any difference. These people are breaking the law. You bring a law in. What? They're already breaking the law. Do you think bringing another law in is going to stop them? They're throwing firebombs at police. Do you think a firework control zone is going to change that? You're off your head. I mean, it's like the people in Holyrood do not live in the same world, do they? Oh yes, look, they're having a riot, they're throwing firebombs. Let's bring in a firework control zone. Yeah, that's bound to stop it. If these guys are willing to throw petrol bombs, they ain't going to think twice about, oh, don't throw that petrol bomb, there's a firework control zone in place. Please, get a grip. They don't. Honestly, you wonder what goes through their tiny, tiny minds. Not very much. Expenses claims. That's it. Anyway, similar scenes also unfolded in Dundee as burning barricades were left across the main road in Curtin. Pictures from the scene showed wheelie bins and shopping trolleys set alight in front of marked police vans. And in Glasgow, frontline officers were run ragged across the city trying to deal with the violence and disorder on November the 5th, including 2 large groups of youths fighting and throwing fireworks at each other in Barmulloch, and 4 people, including a police officer, were taken to Glasgow Royal Infirmary for treatment. And this thing goes on. Now, you know, as I say, the kids doing this, they're not going to stop because you brought in some piffling little local council regulation, are they? It's a load of horse shit. It really is. Bollocks of the first order. And it comes from a government that is tired, worn out, cannot deal, hasn't got a clue, literally run out of steam, run out of ideas, and rapidly running out of hope. Firework control zones to help quell riots. Never heard such arrant nonsense in me bloody life. Anyway, we'll come up and finish. It's hard to imagine the levels of self-delusion these people have, thinking bringing things in like this is actually going to sort anything out. It's almost as though they're playing a game. They're not actually living in the real world, you know. It's like they're sitting there removed from reality. It's the only explanation. Anyway, we'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, share the video, and I will speak to you later. Bye.